And before we started making $25,000 a month, I was just sitting at my desk, just like this. I was staring at a Google Doc, overthinking where to start, what niche to pick, comparing myself to other people who already had a system. And honestly, starting was the hardest part. And if that's where you're at right now, this video is for you. And today I'm gonna share what got me unstuck, what actually matters when you're starting, and how building momentum is way more important than building a brand. Hey, what's up? My name is Matt Maniego, and I've been a content creator since 2010. And over the last 2 years, I've developed a system to help content creators just like you create more and work less. Let's get into it. Why starting feels so hard? Most people don't start because they think they need the perfect gear, the perfect niche, a full content strategy, and a backlog of videos. And to be honest, that all can be overwhelming just in your mind. Your mind will start to play tricks on you. That, my friends, is what I call analysis paralysis. Now, this is something that's very common in those who are wanting to start a business or wanting to just do something. Just thinking about how to start can be very daunting. And that's why many people don't ever get started, because they can't start. You have to get into a mindset of understanding that all those things don't matter. What's important is building that muscle memory, is getting those reps in. You don't get clarity from thinking, you get clarity from doing. And the truth is, the first 5 to 10 videos that you make, they're probably gonna suck. I mean, even take a look at this YouTube channel. The first few videos were, okay, I questioned them for sure. My editors are great, it's the content, right? The content that's within the videos. In the first few videos, they're just gonna suck, just understand that. But you have to get through the suck to get to where you wanna be. Nobody becomes like a professional basketball player overnight. Nobody becomes a professional fill in the blank overnight. It takes time to build up that skill, that intelligence, that understanding of what it is that you're doing to get to where you want to be. And this is the same thing for this type of business. If you're a content creator and you've never started a system, getting into that system is going to be very difficult at first. And all this was necessary because every part of the system that I implement now was born out of a very messy beginning. Believe me, I'm not the most organized guy. You can ask my wife. But creating the system and following the system has taught me discipline, and the most important thing, consistency. And the best part is, you don't actually need to be consistent. You just need to be consistent at starting. I know that's kind of hard to understand, but just understand that starting is the biggest part. Part 2 is how I finally got moving and using this system. What finally got me unstuck was understanding that imperfection was okay. Like I mentioned earlier, it's important to understand that you are gonna mess up, and that's okay. Someone once told me the story about Thomas Edison and how he created the light bulb and how many times he messed up creating that light bulb. The lesson of the story is that Thomas Edison found many different ways how not to build a light bulb until he created the light bulb. And the same thing goes for what you're doing in your content creation journey. It's not always gonna be perfect, but you will find many ways how not to do things, and that's perfectly fine. So I designed this system to be able to help point out some of the things that you might want to avoid, or ways that you can do things more efficiently without having to learn the lessons that I did. There's gonna be a lot of different things that are gonna distract you from actually starting this process. But I'm telling you, once you start it, you will learn discipline and you will learn consistency. The reason why starting is so important, and the reason why making mistakes is so important, is so that you can see what actually works. Then your brain starts to understand what works and what doesn't work, and you will automatically go the route of what actually works. So when I built the content automation engine, I didn't build it all in one shot. I accidentally built it by doing one thing at a time and documenting what worked and what didn't work. When I hired my first editor, it came from me being burnt out. When I hired my first VA, it came from me forgetting to send invoices and communications between me and the client. And the systems finally came because I realized that I was repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Part 3, action beats perfection. Look, if you're a content creator and you're running your own business, you're probably in a position where you have your plate super full. So if your plate is already full, it's gonna be hard to add more things to that plate. What you wanna do is actually take things off your plate so that you have more time for yourself and you have more time to focus on building the business as opposed to working in the business. That's why in my first few videos, I always say just hire your first editor and start there. Start very small, because once you start, you will be able to see how the system works. You could keep thinking about it as much as you want. If you're watching this video right now, you've probably seen my other videos, and you're probably just gonna keep thinking about it. But the longer you keep thinking about it, the longer it's gonna take for you to take all of those things off your plate. Now, do you wanna keep waiting? Do you wanna keep thinking about it? For me, it took 13 years. For you, it could take you 3 of my videos for you to finally understand that you just need to start. Starting a system that already maps things out for you is probably one of the smartest ways to go about it. If you're stuck doing everything by yourself, waiting for the next client to reach out to you, hoping that somebody will hire you for a job, hoping that another cam op job comes up or a DP job or an editing job comes up, just stop yourself right there and start. Stop yourself from doing that and just start the content automation engine. Like, I built this system for people who are just like me, who are doing everything themselves. And that's fine for the first few years of doing this. Again, it took me 13 years to understand that I didn't need to be a part of every part of the business. So for now, just start. Get your reps in. Understand that imperfection is okay. Messing up, making mistakes is okay. And once you start to build that muscle memory, start building calluses, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So take action. Download the content automation engine below. It's a step-by-step guide of how to implement a content automation system so that you're not burnt out as a content creator. Start with one editor and see how that goes. It might work, it might not work. And if it doesn't work, then you'll know not to go that way. Look, if I could go back in time, I say this in a few of my other videos, but if I could have started this earlier, I would. But I was the type that was hard-headed. I just wanted to do everything by myself. And it took 13 years in this industry, in content creation, to finally understand that not everything has to be done by me. And that's why I built the content automation engine. It's building a system that eventually works without you being at the helm 24 hours a day. So if you want help shortcutting the messy middle, download the content automation engine. We have a free version and a paid version. The free version is basically like the rest of the videos on this YouTube channel. The paid version is a step-by-step guide on how to implement every part of my system. The communication platforms, how to pay your editors, how to pay your remote workers, what platforms we use for project management, as well as template documents and emails for finding your first editor. Sometimes the most simplest thing can be the hardest. So don't wait, just start. All right, that's it. I'll see you on the next video.